lovelies, welcome to August edition of Quilters Vibe, and this is the lovely inspiration that Sarah has chosen, and it's a Dresden plate quilt, which I'm not even going to try and make out of paper. Not happening, but that's okay. I made last month's quite literally, so I'm going to go a bit more symbolic this time, and it's clearly a rainbow, which is rather topical for this time of, well, I was going to say time of year, but let's hope it doesn't happen every year. But if you haven't heard of the Rainbow Trail, I believe it is happening in at least several countries where people put rainbow themed artworks and stuff in their windows so that when you're driving past during the lockdown times, provided it's not after curfew, you can spot that, and it sort of gives a bit of a hope during these trying times. So I'm going to go with a rainbow vibe, and I have cut this cut file from the relatively new store, the Pear Tree Cutfile shop. I will link to them. Anyway, I am going to back the rainbows. I didn't cut it on straight white cardstock. I wanted to see what it looked like. I used a Dear Lizzie from either Saturday collection or this one, either before or after that. The name escapes me right now, but anyway, it's kind of similar, and it's like black sketchy. They're black sketchy sort of flowers on just a white background, and I knew it wouldn't look like flowers when I cut it, but it just gives a little bit of a black scribble. And once I back the rainbows, then I think it hopefully will give it, you know, I like more. I don't know yet what I'm going to do to the hearts. I'm not yet sure of the background. So I'm going to back the rainbows. I'm going to use one of these two photos. I checked, and the size of each of these rainbows is exactly the same. So I just put one set of these three middle pieces by itself in the silhouette software. I could get 4 across, added a slight offset to make them slightly bigger than what's there. And so it means I can very easily back them. I just put a 3x3 square of 16 different colours, and then I can mix and match. I've got a whole bunch of them. See? And I just put them in the software like this. Made sure they're not touching. Added the offset, and so they're a bit bigger than the original, but not so big that they should go outside of the cut file area. In this particular instant, it's going to make filling the cut files a lot easier. I'm just going to, mix and match and not worry about any rainbow order or anything like that. So here goes. I got this far, and then I realised I needed some help, because cut files still feel really unfamiliar and unnatural to use on layouts. I don't know why. So it makes sense to go see what the experts say on the matter. And Shimelle uses cut files more and more these days, and her style is, I guess, as close to mine as any. And Paige is the queen of cut files. She does some amazing things. So I went and had a look at both their Facebook and Insta photo libraries, and I saw this one, which reminded me kind of this layout. And I was the reason I've left this hut empty was because I was trying to figure out where to put the photo, because I knew something would be covered up. It's a rainbow, not a heart. When I put something at the bottom, in fact when I put something anywhere, the bottom right corner seems to be the most natural. And I think, as Shimelle rightly points out, it's because we read from left to right in this country, in the West. Anyway, and the other thing was that the framing of this photo was such that I couldn't avoid including a slightly wider gap, because if I cut it off here, then in order to maintain the ratio, it would be you know, further this way. I don't actually mind the wheelbarrow in that picture because it sort of speaks very much about the day and my memory of the day and the occasion and all that kind of thing. So the fact that the girls are wearing fancy tutu dresses that an auntie may or may not have given them. Speaking of aunties, I forgot to do something. This little lady here, I discovered she watches my YouTube channel, and I was going to give her a shout out right at the beginning, so I better do it now. Lilia, if you're watching, hi from Tata. She loves you, and I'm really enjoying making a layout about you and Tai Tai, and of course Mr. Trouble here. So yeah, moving on. I realized that sitting like this, I only had to completely lose one rainbow. All of the others are at least partially showing. No idea about a title or anything yet. Shimelle's just used a small one right above the photo. There's a bit of space that I could do that. I do really like how she's done her journaling around the edge. Do I have enough room to do that? I didn't really consider that when I would have otherwise probably made this cut file a little bit smaller, but I might, especially if I don't write too big. Otherwise I could fill in the hearts. The other thing that she's done here, which I think is a really cool idea, this particular layout she did for the Paige Evans design team, and she challenged herself to just use the sticker book and I think the paper pad. So she's used a lot of the clear stickers in this light coloured background of the, she backed the cut file with a light colour. Genius, because nearly everyone struggles to use the clear stickers. So I could do something like this. I could either put the heart back, especially if I find the correct one, although if I put a sticker over the top, clear one, you'll still be able to see it, or I could just glue, I could turn it over and use this light aqua, because that's light enough for these to work quite happily and easily. I hadn't really thought about any kind of extra colour. I mean, the only reason I chose the wood grain background was partly because of the prompt, the quilty prompt. There were a whole bunch of other backgrounds that I really wanted, but they were just too busy and I was sad. And then the more I looked at it, the more I thought, gosh, that rainbow quilt looks nice on wood grain. And again, that sort of, again, feeds into the memory of these two had moved into a new house and their floors look kind of similar. So those little things, it sort of takes me back to, I guess, that day or visiting them, which right now we can't do. That's sad. So let's scrapbook. Scrapbook all the cousins. Maybe that should be a hashtag today. So I think I'm going to use the smaller photo. I'll ditch the white border, or if I do leave it, I will mat it on something that stands out against this cut file. Okay, well, this is how far I've got. I've cut it down. I went a little bit too close and took off too much of the white border. I really must learn not to, just to leave it. Anyway, I put this green, it's one from Paige Evans, Bloom Street, around the photo because I thought if I use some of these hearts with this lighter aqua, this green is just a darker version of that, and the pattern is pretty much this colour, so it will tie in without being exactly the same. Anyway, I stuck this down and I think I will dot some of these about. So I'm going to pull out some of these. I will position this and just put them in here and there. If I put the title here, I do probably want one there so that it doesn't have that gap. This kind of random placement it just doesn't come naturally to me, so I might stick a few down. Fortunately, I can pull them up again with this adhesive. So that is what I'm going to do, and then if I need more, I can always add more. So here goes. The next bit of inspiration I got was when I thought about using some of the clear stickers, these magical forest ones from Crate Paper. Kind of, perhaps it was these sort of more muted colours that Max is wearing, and maybe the wood grain. Initially you wouldn't think of teaming them up with bright colours, but Shimelle has put both some really bright patterns and a few papers from this collection in her September Best of Both Worlds kit, and I don't know whether she's planning to use them together, but I can see some of these used, you know, judiciously, working quite well. The style of the girls' dresses is actually more in keeping with this sort of colour scheme than this sort of colour scheme. So I think things like Let's Play and the slightly more childlike font, and some of these are just beautiful. At this point, actually, before I do anything else, I think what I might do is the old mist splatter thing, because whichever bit lands on the wood grain is going to look particularly nice. So I'll do that, because I haven't actually stuck the photo down, so if I'm going to do it, now is the time. I have the stain in this, like with the dauber on top, and I have the paint in this colour, but not the spray. I'm trying to find a replacement for my Heidi Shine, right? Because we all know we can't get it anymore. I have tried a few, and so far I've not found anything I'm happy with. The colour is rather different. It is darker and orangey. I have a feeling I'm going to have to make a Franken so that I get the brightness and the viscosity and the coverage that I want. But anyway, I'm going to try it as is on this, and if it's a little bit more subtle, that's cool. This is a good layout to try it on. So here goes. So I forgot to hit record and I put the title down. Oops, it was nothing complicated, just a word thickers from the Pebbles Girl Squad line, and these are the Sara thickers. So now I'm going to start putting some of these embellishments down. I've got some of these from the Dear Lizzie sticker book and a couple from the Paige Evans one, and then a whole bunch of puffy and transparent and all kinds. I might use this one and put this one here, because that way I can cover up that blobby bit. I'm not even looking or thinking. This is really not like me at all. You've got style, because all three of these kids are rather, you know, they've got their definite ideas about fashion, and this having a white halo is going to be perfect for some of the hearts, the open hearts. Might put it like that. It's quite wordy, so I'm thinking I need to put some non-wordy motifs down. Never grow up. This one needs foam squares. Oh, here we go. These guys. I think this needs something. So it's the only one. I want something here. Oopsie, sorry, I know this keeps migrating down. There's quite a few different flowery options. I picked this one because it's fairly monochromatic, so I didn't want it to be too in your face. I know, considering the rest of the layout, I know. But I think this is a necessary thing to add because of the golds that I've used here and the mist and all that kind of stuff. there before I completely kill it. So the last thing that needs to go on is journaling. I'm sure I'll have plenty more pages to use these cute little critters on. I think Shimelle knew when she had a colour scheme in mind and she stuck to it. I think she was onto a good thing. I started off okay and then it just went completely chaotically out of control. Mixed feelings about this one, not gonna lie. See what I mean about how Shimelle has stuck to the green, the orange and the red, and it's both in the photo and in the actual layout, and it just looks a lot cleaner. And while she's done the same thing by filling in the cut files, it's just not like a unicorn threw up on your layout. But I can't be, you know, it's off my kiddos, so I can't be too unhappy about it. It is what it is. Lesson learned. I'll definitely be trying it again and I'll know what to do next time, or not to do next time. Now, as far as inspiration from the quilty vibe, we have rainbows and some wood grain. I consider that job done and without a single stitch. Huh, who knew I could do Quilters vibe without sewing. Anyway, head on over and check out Daisie, Christy and Sara. Christy and Sara might be up a little bit later, so check in again every day for the next few days. It might be as late as into next week. Doesn't matter. Goodness knows I can't be put as late as I was for July. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and please visit the other girls and I hope you come back soon. Bye!